Wolf populations in the Northern Rockies right now are under an ever-increasing assault.
You have to wake up every morning to find a corpse of an animal that you raised in your field is hard to stomach.
What's wrong with us? Can't we share this place with the wolf?
You could go back almost any point in time. Whenever you've had wolves and people in the same proximity, there's been a conflict.
This is a carcass of bull elk, number 10, who was featured in a BBC program a few years ago. This happened a couple weeks ago. He was killed by wolves. And this is pretty much what's left of him. There's a few bones left. It's supposed to have been completely scavenged by wolves.
The 3 states, Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming, each have set out to reduce populations of wolves, and they're succeeding. The wolf population dropped 7% last year. Wolves were among the first species to be added to the list of species protected under the Endangered Species Act in 1973. And so in the mid-1990s, the U.S. Interior Department embarked on a program to restore the wolf to the Northern Rockies. But as wolf recovery progressed, the Endangered Species Act protections have been lifted, and they've opened up hunting and trapping seasons for wolves.
We're on my family's ranch here in Jackson, Wyoming. We grow beef, I guess, to feed America. So this guy was born just a couple hours ago. Wolves are a big part of our life here in Wyoming now. They haven't been a huge problem for us until I guess, the last few years. Personally, our family has lost cattle to wolves. We've had our family dogs attacked, crushed their lungs and crushed their ribs and what have you. We certainly should have the right to protect our way of life, our animals, and if that means killing or shooting a few wolves when they are in our backyard or on our land, I certainly think that's something that we need to have the right to do.
This is the skull of a male wolf out of northern Minnesota that was given to me a number of years ago by the government trapper back there.
The wolf's impact on the cattle industry in western United States is minuscule, absolutely minuscule. I think this last year there was 200 or 300 cattle were killed, 400 some sheep were documented killed. That's in an industry where it's counted in the millions. So indiscriminate hunting is not necessarily even going to deal with that problem. During last year's hunting season in Wyoming, 42 wolves were killed. And they have an incredible influence on the entire ecosystem. If you lose one of the breeding animals, alpha male or female, there's about a 50% chance that pack will not reproduce the next year.
Hunting's a very practical tool. It's very much used in what we call a North American model of conservation, of managing populations. Management means allowing the population to grow. Some of it means curbing the population when it gets to a certain size. They're very cool animals, but they're wildlife. And to successfully have wolves around, having states manage them like other species is the best for wolves, and it's the best to have wolves in the whole landscape.
But it's an ongoing debate, and it's a lively one in this region, and I think a lot of people find value in the idea that there still are wild places where you can still go and see wolves and these other wildlife species as people could in the West 150 years ago.